Welcome to another audio commentary. This game is between Bisu and Nada. You're listening to Vol, and the map is Longinus. Here we've got Nada in the purple Terran on the top right, and Bisu in the bottom left, white Protoss. And this map is a three-player, a triple symmetry map with the other start location on the top left, of course. One of my favorite maps. It's I quite like three-player maps. It gives you quite interesting dynamic to it, with both players kind of fighting over the third start location, which is empty. If the game continues into a kind of a longer battle. I've got the replay going at 1 times speed as opposed to 2 times speed. Recently we're doing a lot of replays that have just had the game sped up to 2 times speed or even 4 times speed in some cases. And that's just because those replays were extremely long, and I really wanted to get right over all of the boring stuff. There's some boring stuff in the middle. And the other reason too is I kind of like to speed things up and have the commentary fairly fast-paced. But in this game, it'll be a bit more relaxed. Just going at normal speed, you'll be able to watch the game unfold as it looked like when the game was being played live, and that'll be fine. The game itself, I just picked this up from ghostergamers.net, the replay site, recently. It's come from the Worldwide Invitational tournament, as far as I know. I assume the most recent one. And don't actually know too much about the tournament itself. I'm not really sure who the other players were and at what point during the tournament this game actually occurred, but I'm just going to take it at face value here, just see who comes out on top. We've got Nada, who an excellent Terran player. He has obviously achieved fairly legendary status from his performance a few years ago, and Bisu, much more recently, being a dominant player than Nada, but we'll see obviously who comes out on top in this game. It could be either player. I'm not going to say that one person is really the pick to win this, but here we've got Bisu starting with a standard looking single gate build, although it looks like a second gate's going down, and we've got the cybernetics core going up. No zealot yet, so we can assume that those two gates are going to be pushing out dragoons before long, and Nada's coming a little bit later, but that's pretty typical for Terran versus Protoss. Some Marines coming out now, and fairly standard stuff from both players. We've got the Vespian gas mining operation just being reduced to 1 SCV temporarily, just to get himself a little bit more SCVs while he doesn't need the gas just yet, while the factory's being built. Now, Dragoon range being upgraded, so pretty standard, just ground assault kind of stuff. Not going to see anything too risky by the looks. More Marines showing up. Some players on this map actually like to get a wall, either in this location here, just for a bit of safety against any kind of rush that's coming in, or this position here so that they can just grab the expansion straight away down here and not have to worry so much about units coming in. But if you're a pro gamer and you're fairly confident with your micromanagement, there's really not too much need to put a wall in, and you can save yourself just a little bit extra by going here. Watch what he's done here. Nada's actually gone for an early academy, and I really actually quite like this play by Nada. It's very interesting. It's not standard. I wouldn't really recommend this to somebody just starting out and trying Terran out. What it does is it allows him to get 1 medic to support his 5 Marines, and 5 Marines is a standard, but by getting the Academy early, you can get an early comsat for like scanning any Dark Templars or checking out the Protoss deck, and you can get this 1 Marine, which helps you if you're pushing forward or defending, because that 1 Marine can just perpetually heal all of these Marines. That medic can heal them rather. And we've got some Dragoons coming in. There's the third one there, going for the expansion as well as those 2 gates, so interesting build. It's nothing too out of the ordinary, but here's Nada now, just pushing forward with the 5 Marines and the medic, so it's a really interesting play. I've seen them do this on this map before, actually, so maybe this is just a gambit that Nada likes to pull out on Longinus. But as you can see, if he micros well enough, and NATO's micro of Marines and so forth is extremely good, just allows them to come and put some mine downs with the Vulture, just staves off the Protoss for a while, allows them to get this expansion out with no trouble. Scouting probe comes back in, but because the Vultures are being backed up, that probe is not going to last. And Bisu here, very cautious. Interested that he's obviously picked up the fact that the mine. Well, no, he didn't. But well played there. He managed to avoid taking any damage from that mine. That's the crucial thing. Just building up the Dragoon numbers, and when he's ready, he'll be able to push in and put some pressure on. Robotics facility going up. Citadel of Adun going up. I'm not sure if he'll be trying anything like Templars or anything like that, but we'll see. Maybe he's just going for a pretty early Zealot leg upgrade, and maybe Observers. But it's not uncommon for Bisu to try something like, Dark Templars or something. He's pretty good with them, as we've seen. Expansion just coming online now for NATO, and finally getting some siege tech up. With mines, you really save yourself a little bit of trouble in terms of upgrading siege tech. You can prolong it for a while. I mean, usually you need siege tech if you've got Dragoons right outside of your base, because if not, they can just waltz in and start shooting down your tanks, and there's not that much you can do. That's why some players like to get siege tech early. I know that I often do that just because of the comfort factor. But if you're really confident with laying mines down, that can actually be even better, because mines are a little bit cheaper of an upgrade. They're a little bit more flexible. They do protect you against Dark Templars as well. And you can always just get siege later, because the Dragoons can't really come in. They have to wait for the observers. Here's Bisu's observers now. He did go for the observatory. Now shifting up to two more gates, and he's actually getting expansion already over in this position. And with Longinus, you've got these island expansions. Well, not island expansions. I call them islands because they're fairly isolated, and they just have the one ramp. But they've got the double gas vents, so you can go for a pretty tech-heavy build if you manage to secure one of these expansions early on, and that's what Bisu has done. So maybe we'll see something like carriers or something like that. NATO, interestingly, here has a barracks just floating around. Doesn't need Marines anymore, but maybe he'll scout this and try and pull off some kind of timing push, given the fact that Bisu does seem to be really committing to a lot of tech, as we've seen, as well as early expansions. And I guess NATO has an opportunity if he just switches to 6 factories and just really goes for an all-out real kind of push here with a lot of units. And Bisu doesn't have that many units. I mean, he's got a substantial amount. He's got enough to hold off any kind of attack at this point in time, but it's going to be a little while before he gets any real mileage out of these expansions here. So just a quick trade-off of units here. NATO obviously wants to come in and perhaps take a 3rd base, and he'll be able to do that. And Bisu hasn't got any